Done deals galore as Manchester United perform double swoop for Bayern Munich duo, whilst Aaron Wan Bissaka to West Ham is finally agreed. Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Yes, today's video is going to centre around Manchester United, who may be on the pitch and maybe preparing for their game against Manchester City later on today in the Community Shield. But off the pitch, they are getting their transfer business done. We know about Noussair Mazraoui, we know about the deal that was supposedly happening there and how that was going to be given the green light as soon as the Aaron Wan Bissaka situation was tied up. Well, it seems that that has been given the green light as well, which means Mazraoui is going to be going to Manchester United. Aaron Wan Bissaka is going to be going to West Ham. And we know obviously about United's interest in Matthijs Ligt. Well, that seems to have taken a significant step forward today, according to those in the know journalists that are claiming that a deal has been agreed for both Bayern Munich players from Manchester United's point of view. West Ham have agreed a deal with Aaron Wan Bissaka. Everything is set to run smoothly ASAP. We are going to be talking about this deal, or these deals, shall we say, plural of course. We're going to be talking about Ligt mainly because obviously we talked about Mazraoui before, and obviously we'll talk a little bit about Aaron Wan Bissaka as well and everything else in between. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things always and forever greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That'll make for great interest in reading down below as well. So that would be great. Great to hear from you guys as well. Use and abuse that comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about these potential transfer situations and stories. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Manchester United, Bayern Munich, and the West Ham, the three players in between, all of that good stuff. The news broke today from David Ornstein. He took to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, to announce that exclusive Manchester United agreed deal with Bayern Munich for Matthijs Ligt, 45 million euros plus 5 million in plus 5 million add-ons, 5 plus 1 year contract pending medical. So obviously that kind of extra 1 year that they can trigger at the end of the 5 years that Manchester United normally put in all of their contracts for players. Manchester United, 15 million euros plus 5 million for Noussair Mazraoui bid. That has been accepted. Mazraoui rests on Wan Bissaka. West Ham agreed £15 million fee. Medical slated Sunday/Monday. Finalising exit. And then Romano jumped on the Wan Bissaka one in particular and said that Aaron Wan Bissaka to West Ham. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place for right back to join West Ham from Manchester United as planned. I understand medical tests are already booked on Sunday for Aaron Wan Bissaka. Fee will be £15 million. Manchester United authorised AWB to travel. Mazraoui joining soon. Because that was always going to be the sticking point. For those of you that have been following the Aaron Wan Bissaka Mazraoui situation, you'll know that initially West Ham were going to be signing Mazraoui until Mazraoui, I think, pulled the plug on it, or West Ham pulled the plug on it, depending on which kind of stories you read on from which side. So West Ham's situation was apparently agent fees they weren't prepared to pay. And then they were going to turn their attention back to Wan Bissaka, who, of course, they held interest in before the Mazraoui situation really took off. But then when the Mazraoui situation collapsed, that's when Manchester United pounced and they went for the fullback from Bayern Munich. And, of course, from that point on, it was all about whether they could shift Wan Bissaka on to make room for Mazraoui to come in, which they have now seemingly managed to sort out. Wan Bissaka will be unveiled as a West Ham player. Mazraoui will be coming to Manchester United, and so will his teammate Matthijs Ligt as well, who we know again Manchester United have held firm interest in for a while. This isn't even dating back to this past summer. Like, this is dating back a year, 2 years. There's always been rumoured links and reported interest in Matthijs Ligt from Manchester United as well as other clubs as well. This is a guy who burst onto the scene with Ajax, of course. So again, Ten Hag knows him like he knows Mazraoui from their time at Ajax together. Not going to go down too well with the people that dislike Erik Ten Hag and his his talent ID, shall we say, in terms of favouring players that he's previously worked with. But, you know, there are players in that mix as well that Ten Hag hasn't worked with, like Lenny Yoro, for example, like Xerxes, for example. So, yeah, whatever. That is for them people to mull over and everything. So, we shall see. We shall see on that. As far as obviously what Ligt goes, we know, like I say, Manchester United have held interest in him for a while. We know that obviously they've been looking to bolster and really beef up their defensive options. They've already brought in Lenny Yoro. Lenny Yoro wasn't always going to be the be-all and end-all, though. An 18-year-old kid that would have a lot of weight on his shoulders. Ligt coming in my opinion, relieves some of that that kind of heavy weight on his shoulders, I guess you could say. That and the fact that obviously Lenny Yoro did get injured in pre-season. He's going to be out for at least a couple more months. It relieves the pressure even more so that he doesn't have to come back and hit the ground running, if that was obviously going to be the case, that Yoro was going to be the starting centre-back for Manchester United going forward. Ligt, he's 24 years of age. He is quite experienced for a player of that age. Played for Ajax, of course, got far in the semi-final, got far in the Champions League with them. Played for Bayern Munich, again, big team there. Big team, obviously, in Juventus, of course, as well, in between those two clubs. So he is definitely filled up with a lot of experience. But the issue is, in my personal opinion, is that he's never quite fulfilled the potential, at least in my eyes, that he once showed at Ajax as a promising 18-year-old centre-back that was rising through the ranks and even took on the captain's armband. Now, of course, he will bring that leadership and he'll bring those kind of defensive qualities to Manchester United, who I think will definitely be needed. For 45 million, 45 million euro plus 5 million in add-ons, I think it's actually a very good bargain and a very good deal for Manchester United. It's not too crazy. Does strike me as a little odd that maybe other teams were not jumping on this as much as what Manchester United was seemingly focused on. But at the same time, their loss is potentially Manchester United's gain. This isn't going to work out right off the bat, I would imagine. As in, this might not work out. That's what I should have said. This might not work out, as all transfers do, as all transfers are seemingly, have that air about them, that aura about them of it being a gamble. Nothing's ever a guarantee. We know that. But as far as what an experienced 24-year-old goes, there aren't much more out there or much better than Matthijs de Ligt. As far as obviously what a well-rounded centre-back at his age, with his quality, his calibre, his experience and everything else, there aren't much better than Matthijs de Ligt. Is he the most perfect centre-back out there? Maybe not. Has he fulfilled the potential and promise that he once showed at Ajax? Maybe not. It didn't quite work out for him at Juventus. It hasn't obviously worked out for him in the 2 years that he spent at Bayern Munich. But at the same time, maybe playing back under Erik Ten Hag will help him rediscover that kind of form that he once showed as a promising 18-year-old defender that captained an Ajax team to where they were, where obviously Erik Ten Hag gained notoriety, and Ajax were big players, not just, of course, in the Eredivisie, where, of course, they were winning titles at will, but obviously on the Champions League and European Cup football level as well. So it's going to be big for De Ligt. It's going to be big for Manchester United. It's a smart move by United as well. Bolsters their defensive options, eases the pressure a little bit, in my opinion, on Lenny Yoro. It's going to be interesting, the reshuffling that Manchester United will have to go through with their centre-back options now. Does that mean that Harry Maguire will be next out the door? There's obviously a lot of talk that United are open to selling him, but it's whether or not they can actually shift him out the door for a decent enough price that someone will pay for him. But it's good anyway. It's very good anyway for a player who relatively consistent, relatively strong, Relatively got good key attributes that make him a very good defender. Experienced enough, leadership qualities as well from the back. It makes sense, and you can obviously see why United have been chasing him all summer. On Noussair Mazraoui, again, like I said earlier, it's a guy who Erik ten Hag has worked with before, a guy who United have been chasing since his move fell through from West Ham. Can play either fullback, to be honest, so he's quite versatile in that aspect, which is going to be decent when you consider that Luke Shaw isn't exactly the most reliable when it comes to injuries, but obviously United fans will be hoping that the worst of his injuries are behind him and he can continue on for this season. But in case they need to obviously have a makeshift left back, Mazraoui can play in that role as well. But yeah, I again, it's a solid move. It's a smart move. It's nothing too crazy or too bizarre. It's just obviously a move that obviously Ten Hag sees fit to obviously partake in, and obviously a player that he's worked with before, so obviously that he will have no issue in knowing his kind of system. He'll obviously just need to maybe adapt to the Premier League, the physicality, the intensity of that, which will be interesting to see how he does. And just on Aaron Wan Bissaka, we know obviously he is a Premier League proven, Premier League experienced right back. We know all about Aaron Wan Bissaka. There's no need to really go over him too much. Very defensive minded, but is very good when it comes to recovery tackles and things of that nature. I think for a team like West Ham, he may suit it. Obviously, there's a bit of the unknown going into it. We're not 100% sure how Julian Lopetegui is going to line up. If this was under David Moyes, I think this would be the perfect signing. But under Lopetegui, are they going to be a bit more on the offensive? Are they going to try and be a bit more on the front foot? Are they going to be a bit more... Or are they going to still be like a transitional team? Are they going to sit back and counter? Not 100% sure how they're going to line up under Lopetegui, whether he's going to throw a few surprises in the mix or what. But we do know that right back is an area that they've been targeting to strengthen. We know about the Mazraoui situation, which we mentioned earlier, and we know obviously about how they've been chasing Wan Bissaka for quite a while. Wan Bissaka will provide incredible defensive cover. We don't fault his defensive attributes at all. Offensively, of course, leaves a little to be desired going forward, but defensively, we know his overall qualities, and I think it'll be a decent signing for West Ham, who are building quite a decent team over there. It's got to be said. With the players that they currently have, they could certainly be one to look out for this season. One that could spring a few surprises. Obviously, it depends on Lopetegui, the new manager, but again, a lot to be admired about as far as what West Ham are doing in terms of business. A lot to be intrigued by as well. They've also got that Todibo over the line as well within the past 24 to 48 hours or so. So, yeah, they're definitely providing some decent defensive cover on their part. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how West Ham develop. It's going to be interesting to see if Man United's business does continue. But one thing we do know is that the double swoop for the Bayern duo known as Noussair Mazraoui and Matthijs de Ligt is seemingly all but complete as far as what Manchester United are concerned. They are set to tie up those deals in the imminent future, whilst Aaron Wan Bissaka is off to West Ham. He's switching Manchester for London in what is going to be a big move there for the Hammers. These are, of course, just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of these deals galore that Manchester United and West Ham are pulling off right now? What do you make of Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair Mazraoui going to Manchester United? And what do you make of Aaron Wan Bissaka going to West Ham? Also, quick one. That could mean the Jonathan Tah deal from Leverkusen to Bayern Munich could potentially be back on the cards. We know that obviously he was going to be going to Bayern Munich, but the deal seemingly collapsed because Bayern couldn't get De Ligt out the door. That could all now change. Obviously, with De Ligt now agreeing a move to Manchester United and Bayern agreeing a move for De Ligt to Manchester United, that could now change and Bayern could be back in for Jonathan Tah. So keep an eye on that one as well as from a Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen standpoint. Let me know what you guys think and feel about any of these deals. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. It's a great, interesting reading, I'm sure, down below. Use and abuse that comment section, people. You know the drill by now. Would love to hear from you all on what you have to make about any of these transfer stories. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always incredibly greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know. Like I say, would be great to hear from you all. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video. I will see and speak with you all again soon in another video. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to go and watch the Community Shield right now. So, have a good one. See you all again very, very soon.